Hey Aggie family, Bart Reeves, Superintendent of Albertville City Schools. We have a few updates that we'd like to share with you as we get ready to start off the new school year. Probably the most important one, when will school be starting? So 4 weeks from today, we'll be starting on August the 12th. We'll welcome most of our students back on August the 12th. We do have our kindergarten students who will be starting on a staggered start, so they'll be starting on different days throughout that first week. We do want to remind everybody that we will have free lunches and free breakfast this upcoming year. The school system qualified again for the 2025-26 school year. So one thing that can help you as a parent as we get ready to start the new school year, we have on our website a back to school page. If you go there, you can look at the supply list, you can look at the school calendar, various other things that you will need as we get ready to start the school year. One of the things that we'd like to update you on is our out-of-district enrollment policy. In June, we sent a letter to many students letting them know that they would not be invited back for the 2025-26 school year. And some of you have been wanting to know why. We have a school policy for out-of-district enrollment. And if students meet these guidelines, whether they are first-time enrollees into Albertville City Schools or whether they've been here for a year or two or longer, we basically look at our reports and we decide whether or not these students will be invited back or they will be allowed to come as first-time students. So some of the things that we're looking at attendance, we're looking at discipline, basically their behavior, and we're also looking at academics. So those are the three main categories that we look at when we decide whether or not we're going to invite students back or whether we're going to allow them to come as first-time students into Albertville City Schools. Now the question might be, why do you do that? Why should that even matter? Well, it matters because it impacts the school system's report card. Every year, the state of Alabama and federal government, they will release a report card, and it's based on attendance and it's based on academics. And of course, those things are very important to us, and it should be important to you as the parent. So those are the things that we're looking at when we're considering our out-of-district enrollment. Now, each year or at the beginning of the year, we have individuals that are looking at these reports. They're looking at a student's grade. They're looking at students' attendance. And we have principals who are doing this. We have district officials who are doing this. And once they come together and they talk about each of these students, they will make a decision on whether they can re-enroll or if we're going to deny enrollment. So when we're looking at expectations, and of course, when we're talking about expectations, we're talking about expectations not only for our in-district students, but also for our out-of-district students. So what are we talking about? Attendance. We need our students here daily. Again, that includes district and out-of-district students. We need them here because we know that that's going to increase student achievement. It's going to help them individually, but it's also going to help us as a school and also as a school system. One of the things that parents and even some of our educators believe is that when students have excused absences, that they don't hurt the school system. Well, that is not true. If a student is absent, whether it's excused or whether it's unexcused, it will hurt the school system, especially if it exceeds 10%. So what are we looking at? We're looking at 18 days. If students are out of school for 18 days or more, they're considered chronically absent. And that is what hurts our report card. We have high standards, we have high expectations, and we want all of our students to meet those standards. We want all of our students to meet those expectations. And parents, that's where you come in. That's where you've got to help us as well. We have put a lot of focus on students being at school. And our attendance rate was much better this year compared to the last year. And we want it to continue to improve. So parents, we need your help. So when we're looking at our out-of-district students, they need to be here. I'm thinking about one particular student right now that had over 140 absences in 3 years. This past year, he had 40-something absences. Some excused, some unexcused, but the bottom line, he was not getting to school. Parents, we need your help in getting students to school. Again, this will help our report card, this will help your child, and that's what is most important as we go into this upcoming school year. A letter was sent out in June to our out-of-district students that they would not be invited back. We did have a few questions on Facebook, and we'd like to address those questions now. One of the questions, I can't believe that you are doing this to seniors. Yes, we did have 2 seniors that received a letter that they would not be invited back. but I'm pleased to tell you that they will be coming back. Now, why did we do this? Well, we wanted to get our parents' attention. Hey, being at school on time, being at school daily, those things matter, and we need our kids at school daily. And those were the things that we got across to our parents. And now, as we go into the school year, if these students continue to trend where they're not coming to school or they're coming to school late, then we'll probably have to take action at that point. We'll probably have to withdraw those children later in the school year. We don't want that to happen, but it is a possibility. We need our parents to realize and to know that attending school is important, and we want our kids here daily. So another question that we received on Facebook had to do with being grandfathered in. And I understand the question, but we need to know what grandfathered in means for Albertville City Schools. Grandfathered in simply means that tuition is waived for an out-of-district family. And but at the same time, you still have to meet the school system's expectations. You have to be at school on time. You have to be here regularly. You have to have good grades. Do not have a discipline record, so to speak. So if students are meeting those expectations, then we are going to invite them back in. And of course, being grandfathered in simply means you don't have to pay the tuition. It does not have anything to do with an automatic re-enrollment year after year. So another question we received, well, they're taking care of their athletes. They're not sending letters home to athletes, pertaining to grades or attendance. Well, we have guidelines we have to follow with the Alabama High School Athletic Association. If kids do not have the grades, if they're not attending school regularly, then obviously they're not going to be able to participate. So that is not true. If students do not have the grades, if they're not coming to school regularly, then obviously they're going to receive a letter as well. So one of the things we know about student being successful, they must be present and they must be engaged to be successful. And that is the expectation of all of our students, not just out of district, but also our in-district students as well. And again, just talking back about the letter and going back to the letter sent out in June, we have allowed many of those students to return this upcoming year. But again, conversations were had with their parents and also with the student to let them know about the expectations. And you can find these expectations in the student handbook. It's clearly going to outline expectations for student attendance, also behavior, and academics. So feel free to look at the student handbook to find out more information. And parents, we want you to know this: out-of-district students are welcome at Albertville City Schools. But again, we go back to expectations, we go back to standards. We have high standards for all of our students. Our goal is to provide a fair and supportive environment so that our kids can succeed. And we know that that will not happen if they're not at school. So we need all of our kids to be present. So one of the priorities for Governor Ivey in the past legislative session was the Focus Act. And I know many of you have heard about the Focus Act, probably from other school systems, probably from social media, and we want you to hear it from us as well. The Focus Act bans wireless communication devices. So what are we talking about there? We're talking about cell phones. We're talking about Apple Watches, any other watches that can send a message outside of school. We're also talking about earpods, AirPods, or anything similar to those. But basically, all wireless devices are being banned at all K-12 schools throughout the state of Alabama. This is new Alabama law. This is not a local policy, but this is Alabama law. And of course, we are required to follow Alabama law, and we'll be doing that for this upcoming school year. So again, when we're talking about the Focus Act, we're talking about cell phones, we're talking about earpods, we're talking about any device that can send communications outside of the classroom. Those devices must be stored in the student's backpack, and of course, there will be consequences for students that are not abiding by those guidelines. Now, there are exceptions with these wireless devices. If a student has a 504 or an IEP, they may be allowed to bring in the wireless device. And also, there will be opportunities for students to use their wireless devices in class if a teacher decides that they want it to be a part of the lesson. So there are exceptions, but for the most part, please, again, know that wireless devices will be banned in all K-12 schools this upcoming school year. And again, we want to refer to our school system website. So if you go to our school system website and you go to our back to school page, all of this will be outlined in our back to school page. So be sure to visit it for more information concerning the Focus Act. One of the questions that we keep receiving, whether it's on the street or through email, and that question is, why is the governor doing this? What is the importance here? If I bought a phone, then my students should be allowed to take it into the classroom. We get it. We understand. The reason the governor wanted to do this is because there is research out there that students with cell phones during the instructional day, it is negatively impacting student achievement. And again, that's the priority. That's the priority of school systems. That's a priority in every school. We want students to be successful, and we want to increase student achievement. So the governor is going along with that research, and she is basically saying if we pull the cell phones away from the students, then that's going to be one distraction that teachers do not have to worry with as we go through the school year. So we're looking at this as being a positive as it relates to student achievement. So one of the questions that we're receiving now concerning the Focus Act, how will I be able to get in touch with my child? Please know that we have procedures in place. If you need to communicate with your child, obviously you can call the office. If your child needs to communicate with you, then we'll allow them to go to the office to make that phone call as well. We're asking our families to trust us, not only in keeping their students safe, but also to help keep their students focused and engaged in student learning. Aggie family, we hope you found this update helpful. Again, we remind you to go to our website, to go to the Back to School page. That is going to answer most of your questions that you might have. But also, we're giving you my email address as well. If you want to reach out with questions, if you've got a question that maybe we did not address in this update, feel free to email me at superintendent@albertk12.org. And parents, we just want to remind you how thankful we are with the partnership we have with our families. One thing that we know is that we are at our best when we work together. Here's to a great school year ahead. Go Aggies.